So with Caitlin specifically, there's a lot of ways to just cover the early parts of an embryonic career. What did you make from just observing her first season in the W and the impact that she had from not only on the court, but also off the court in regards to how the fan base has developed a connection to her in terms of, you mentioned Tamisha Catchings and just her being the franchise player, but also the face of the league. And I think that's another aspect I think that gets overlooked in terms of a relationship to a player. Just I know for myself, I was a huge Bull fan in the 90s. So, of course, I'm a huge Jordan fan, but also he was the face of the league. So it was like the dichotomy type of a thing. So I'm just curious from yourself, your observations, and then just doing research heading into this season, kind of your overall impressions of Kaylin just in terms of her impact in the community of Indiana.
Yeah, so first off, to touch on the court. So Caitlin last year, the W's Rookie of the Year, and a lot of the highlights we see, right, are her on offense shooting, and there's no better shooter, I think, in the world than Caitlin Clark. But you might forget, she led the league in assists last year and set a record for most assists by a rookie. So just don't sleep on her passing ability. And now that she's got extra weapons, and again, there was intent with players like Flash Howard coming in, a great rim runner. And, Caitlin wants players to run. And it's been funny talking with Dewana Bonner, as DB has said. And, it's year 16 for her, but a testament to the incredible shape that she's in, that she's been able to run the floor with Caitlin. And so she says it's a lot more fun to run with Caitlin as opposed to chasing her around like DB was doing with Connecticut last year. So that's just a quick thought in terms of her game. But then, yeah, really looking beyond the court with Caitlin as the face of women's basketball. It's just so impressive the way that she handles herself. Such a down-to-earth person, and just comes from such a amazing family that has kept her somehow kind and humble, and definitely doing a lot in the Indianapolis community and around the state of Indiana. But of course, it goes beyond, just the state lines of Indiana, and especially a foundation that Caitlin has that's every day I look, it seems like there's another big project underway in Iowa. And I know the reach really even extends beyond there with the impact that she's having. And specifically, when you look at that homecoming at the University of Iowa, that exhibition game against the Brazilian national team, 15,000 seat arena, it sold out in 15 to 45 minutes. And there's a lot of pressure, you would think, for Caitlin in a situation like that. And what does she do? She comes out, she nails her first three as she gets knocked down. Of course, I'm sure everyone's seen the highlight of the 36-foot three that she hit from beyond the 22 that they put on the court there to mark, where she set the NCAA women's all-time scoring record. And Ryan Rucco made this comment on that ESPN broadcast at the time that was very prescient, that part of the legend here that's building with Caitlin is that she just always rises to the occasion, going back to when she was at Iowa and her junior year, when the hype really started to rise, and she leads them to the Final Four. And then when she dropped 40-plus points against South Carolina to get to that championship game, and then, getting them back, beating UConn in the Final Four the next year, and so many other moments along the way. But similar, as you were referencing, being a fan of those Jordan Bulls teams, I mean, MJ just had the knack, right, for stepping up when the spotlight was on. And so early on here, Caitlin, no question, has done that. And then again, has done it with grace and class that just blows me away. And yes, I was thinking, as I was witnessing the scene in Iowa, of all these people, screaming for autographs, like, I think it would be very understandable for at some point for that to feel like a little bit too much, and want to kind of slip away or whatever. And not only does she sign the hundreds, thousands maybe of autographs in a situation like that, but afterwards she said she doesn't take it for granted, and she embraces the fact that there are young fans, and girls and boys, and really, frankly, fans of all ages, who express their care for her, and she gives that love back. And so it really is just a pretty unbelievable thing to be witnessing.